There's a very distinct chance that I am losing my goddamn mind right now. Like, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. You see what the title to this video is, right? This is not a meme, this is not a joke, this is not the plot to the Barron Trump anime series. And I do want to give a shout out to my subscriber, Dreamo, who brought this to my attention on Twitter. Thank you for this. Jesus Christ. This is a real thing. It's one of the most insane, ridiculous, dumb-seeming conspiracy theories I've ever heard in my life, and yet somehow it's one of the most oddly convincing things. Like, there's just so many ridiculous coincidences happening here. And I know that on Twitter I was hyping up this video I was supposed to release, that it was a ridiculous, not like my usual content. I was kind of worried about subscribers leaving and whatnot, but this is not that video. That video can wait, because this is blowing my mind right now. So you might have heard before people joking around about Donald Trump being a time traveler, with his rise being so unusual and unexpected. You know, the odds were, people did not think he was going to win. Nobody really thought he was going to win for the most part, and yet he did against all odds. And there's so many weird things, like him, he wrote a passage that might have predicted 9/11 a year or so in advance. You know, little things like that, circumstantial things that people can kind of point at, but see, he knew he was a time traveler. There's even juicier tidbits that are a little more circumstantial, like, okay, alright, so you might not know this, but you probably are familiar with Nikola Tesla, the scientist. And the thing about Tesla is, he did a lot of research into some very outlandish things, especially towards his death. Free energy, invisibility, and time travel. And think about his time travel research. When he died, the United States government gave his personal scientific research to be studied by an MIT scientist. That MIT scientist's name?
Professor John Trump, who is with us today.
John Trump, who just so happens to be Donald Trump's paternal uncle. And this is still all, very circumstantial stuff. Actually, everything I am going to show you is circumstantial stuff, but I'm going to show you something that has such a weird coincidence, has a number of weird coincidences that you're going to join me in not knowing if if this is real life. There are a lot more connections that people are making with this theory. If you've ever heard of the alleged time traveler on a message board, John Titor, there's a connection to Donald Trump and him. But there's a lot of other details to the Donald Trump time traveler conspiracy theory, but what I want to focus on is this newly discovered book. So the other day, a post pops up on 4chan about this book, and I know what you're thinking, it's 4chan, right? It's gotta be a hoax. That's what I thought, too. That's what I thought. So I'm gonna show you this book. It's a book written by a man called Ingersoll Lockwood. The name of this book? Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And here you can see a drawing of Barron Trump and his dog. See, Barron Trump, this character Barron Trump, who I will note is spelled different from the Barron Trump of anime fame. Barron Trump stars in a number of books written by this author, Ingersoll Lockwood. These books include fantasy stories of Barron Trump and his dog going on adventures, including things such as time travel. Now, seeing this on 4chan, obviously the first assumption is this is either a hoax or somebody just made it as a joke, right? But then you look up the book and the author, and these are real books that are hosted on both the Library of Congress, and you can buy a hard copy on Amazon. I'll put links in the description. And this can still all be explained away various ways. I mean, you see the picture, the drawing of little Barron Trump, kind of does look like, our Barron Trump. Except, it's a very sketchy pencil drawing, which can kind of look like anybody you want it to look like to some extent. Any child maybe has a childlike face. Then there's also the possibility that Donald Trump had heard of the book before and simply named Barron after the character. Considering that the book bears his name, it's very likely that somebody at some point in his life brought it to his attention. And although it's kind of a weird coincidence to have a character named Barron Trump in the late 18th century, especially since Barron Trump is kind of an unusual name, there's a much more weird coincidence / potential prophecy in another book by this same author entitled The Last President. Yes, The Last President. Now, the book The Last President opens up describing a riot that takes place in New York City on November 3rd, 1896. On page 5 of this book, when describing the riot, it says, The Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. Now tell me, can you think of any hotels that exist in New York City on Fifth Avenue that rioters might want to, show their wrath to? And then what happens on that day, November 3rd? I can think of one specific, November 3rd, where people might want to riot on Fifth Avenue and target a certain person's hotel. November 3rd, the year 2020, aka the date of the next presidential election. What the fuck? What the fuck? Now, I'm not here to tell you that I truly believe that Barron Trump or Donald Trump are time travelers, or that this book, this author is somehow a prophet, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Tell me what you think about it, because right now, like, it's like 5 in the morning, and this is making me very uncomfortable. Oh, God. Anyway, till next time, everybody get fucked.